In part one of how to monetize your YouTube channel, we talked about rule one, which was the 1,000 subscriber rule. In part two, we're going to talk about the 4,000 hours of watched content. Okay, but before we do that, parish notices apply. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you want to be notified about when content like this is posted to the channel, it's the bell icon. Consider supporting the channel on Patreon. The address is down the bottom there, as are the Facebook and Instagram feeds. It might be the other way around. They're also down the bottom of the video. Pop over there, follow the page, like the page, follow the feed, and you'll get notified about when things on the channel are posted and other things that go on. But back to the main video. So let's just recap the rules for Monetise, or the two thresholds and the review. First, 1,000 subscribers. Second, 4,000 hours of watched content in 365 days. And third, you must be reviewed and comply with the YouTube policies. If you can get through all those, you'll get your channel monetized. So, part one, we discussed the 1,000 hours. Part two, we're going to discuss rule two, which is the 4,000 hours of watched content. Now, let's stop and think about that statement. 4,000 hours of watched content in 365 days. Have you stopped and paused about that for a couple of seconds? Because I definitely sort of let the video run on. So I'll give you a little context on that number. Okay. Let's say an average YouTube video is about 10 minutes long. To reach 4,000 watched hours, okay, of viewing time, that one video needs to be watched 24,000 times in its entirety. So all 10 minutes of that video must be watched for 24,000 times. Now, reality strikes in at this point. Reality is that normally you get about 75% of view time from, or 75 to 80% of view time if your content is good. So let's say you've done a video, it's good, and people haven't got bored, or you've given your point across and they've sort of kind of got that, so they only watch 3/4 of your video. So if we therefore take 3/4 of 10 minutes, which is 7.5 minutes, so you don't have to do the maths, therefore the number of times that somebody needs to watch that one video to make 4,000 hours of watched content, it rises to 32,000 views. Okay, if you have a video that goes viral, maybe you're going to get there quicker, and that's kind of perfectly achievable. I've seen people who have gone from zero to monetization in very, very short spaces of time because a video has gone viral. People have watched the video, subscribed to the channel, boom, everything goes very quickly. You can get there in a matter of days on some of this stuff. But reality bites here that, most videos that go viral are less than 5 minutes. So you need more views. So if I work on the fact that it's 24,000 views for a 10-minute video, it's obvious that it's nearly 50,000 views for a video of 5 minutes, and it rises slowly the less that is. And a lot of these viral videos are very short videos. They're 1 to 2 minutes typically of something happening. So, you need a lot of people watching those all the way through to make it happen. But if they've gone viral, that's possibly what's happening, if they've been picked up by a social media feed or something like that. Anyway, let's assume you don't have a viral video. So here are some tips, or things that I've found, if you like, about doing it the old-fashioned way, organic growth of your channel. So, unless you're filming a documentary, try to keep your videos somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes. Okay, and the reason for this will be discussed in a different video, but just take my word for it. 10 to 20 minutes is kind of the optimum YouTube video length. Videos shorter than 10 minutes are definitely allowed. Videos longer than 20 minutes are definitely allowed. But you tend to find that viewer retention is not maintained for the longer videos unless you're doing some sort of documentary where you're delivering lots of facts and people get engaged. Otherwise than that, 10 to 20 minutes. Unless your content is seriously interesting, which I hope most of mine is, you will see quite a lot of viewer tail off around the 3/4 mark, and that's not anything to do with your video. It's just that people tend to lose interest especially if you've really delivered the point of the video by the 3/4 mark. People won't necessarily watch it to the end. So make sure you get the focal point of your video in before that 3/4 point. Okay, so that way people understand what it is your video is about. Write a script. Look, I actually do have a script. And that's why I'm reading down here. Now, some people are really clever now because they do teleprompters on the camera and what have you. But again, that sort of kind of is the equipment side. And if you're starting out, look at the camera for starters. You've got to keep looking at the camera, but don't worry about looking down to read your notes. As I said, I pretty much produce a script for every video I do. Why? Because I want to make sure I cover all the points that I wanted to get across in that particular video. So a script helps me do that. And your script doesn't have to be chapter and verse. That's the other important thing about this. It can be bullet points or crib cards, something that aids the memory, that gels the points you want to make in the sequence that you want to make them. So write a script. It helps you stay on top of it, it helps you not meander off, and it helps keep the video lengths within that 10 to 20 minute window. Okay, so that's quite important. Understand that people will put dislikes on your video for the sheer hell of it. Okay, don't get disheartened when people put dislikes on your video. On one way, actually, it's quite good because it means they've had to watch your video to dislike it. Okay, so it's actually adding to your view time. But if you get lots of dislikes, then you probably need to sort of kind of understand why people are disliking your video. But you will get dislikes on videos, and people do it for the sheer hell of it. It's got nothing to do with the content of your video. But just be aware of that. Produce videos on a regular basis. So this is something that YouTube creators really kind of struggle with, and I've kind of struggled with it definitely recently for various reasons. But try to produce videos 3 times a week. My stated goal is to produce 3 videos a week. Okay, and that can be either rants, it can be question and answer sessions, it can be repairs on keyboards that are sitting behind me. There's 2 in picture behind me. It can be a number of different things that I publish on a regular basis. So I say my stated aim is 3 times per week, and I pretty much have kept to that over the X number of years that I've been running this channel, is to keep that content flowing. Now, I've learned a lot of things about the content, but actually one of the other things I've learned is just try to keep the content posting on that sort of regular basis, which sometimes mean you have to sit and record several videos, edit several videos, and then get them onto the channel in a sequenced manner. When you write a video, one of the things you need to think about, or several things you need to think about, but one of the things you need to think about is how is that video going to be displayed to the consumer, the person who's going to view this. So when you write a video, think about what title you're going to give the video. Now, there are marketeers out there that will put titles on videos, and if you go to YouTube, there's lots of things that say, X number of things, why so-and-so is not this, why this is not that, 10 things you didn't know about, small black boxes. That's to drive you into the video. The problem with a lot of that stuff is when you see it, you actually get into the video and the video is absolutely rubbish, but you started watching it because the title has dragged you in. That's generally how I feel about a lot of that stuff is, X number of things, or things you didn't know about this, or and to be honest, it's just getting you into a page, definitely on the web, where they can just shove adverts at you. And that's kind of not what you want. What you want is you want people to come into your content because your content is there. And it kind of leads on to something else in a minute, which is about honesty. Make sure that you actually put a good description and narrative in against the video. Now, okay, we're kind of in millennial territory now, and a lot of millennials just sort of click on the thumbnail and go into the video. But there are people out there who genuinely read the context or the narrative that you put against the video, not necessarily because they want to read that and then watch the video, but because you've said something in that video. And if you said something in the video, like I'm going to put a link to it in the description, I'm going to put this in the description, or I'm going to put the narrative in the description, they will go and read it. So, and quite often, if they go and read it in the description, you can have a link off to your website, you can have links off to other places. But think about how that description narrative is going to be formed when you're writing your video. What does the thumbnail look like? Again, a thumbnail of somebody like me sitting on screen is not going to draw people in to watch your video. A thumbnail that is formatted, has the title of the video on it, says what the video is about, that's going to draw people into your video, because they're going to say, oh, I want to know about the thingy keyboard. And they come in and watch your video because you've said that in your thumbnail. Picture of me like this does nothing, okay? Once you get into the video, yes, you're going to have a video of me, but a picture of me as your thumbnail is useless. So don't do that. We'll talk about thumbnails in a separate video. Think about what hashtags you're going to, or keywords you're going to associate with the video. Okay, this is really quite important actually in terms of driving traffic to your video. You want to make sure that you've got the key elements of your video in the keywords. So if you do a video about, I don't know, cooking, for argument's sake, make sure in your keywords and in your title you have the word cooking and you have the word cooking in your keywords. Okay, I do a channel about music technology. I have keywords, the Music Tech Guy UK, in my video description, so that people come onto YouTube and say, I want to see, I've heard about this guy called the Music Tech Guy, I want to hear about what he's got to say. They can type it in, they will hashtag it to my Music Tech Guy page. Well, that's the theory anyway. But make sure that the description, the channel description are in the video title. Now, people put descriptions in there or hashtags in there to drive people to the video that have no relevance. For argument's sake, topical things are COVID-19, Donald Trump, Boris Johnson. Okay, these are topical hashtags and keywords at the moment, and people are putting those into videos to try and drive traffic to the video. The problem is people will realize the video has nothing to do with Donald Trump or Boris Johnson, and all they will do is they will go to the video, they will watch the first minute or so, realize it's a complete waste of time, and just switch off. It's not doing what you want it to do, is drive subscribers to your channel and drive people to watch your videos. Okay, so it's not up to me whether you do that or not. I'm just saying that you won't gain people's trust if you do that sort of activity. There are people out there that really just don't give a damn. Okay, and all they want to do is generate money, and they will do whatever it happens to be. And if YouTube close their channel down, well, you know what? They just form another channel, different email address, different personality, and go and do the same thing all over again. Make sure your video is honest. Okay, so I've just talked about hashtags and making and keywords and making sure that they reflect what your video is. But make sure the video is honest as well. Don't make statements that are utter rubbish or fabrications. Okay, we've heard a lot about fake news. Don't do it. It's as simple as that, because people won't trust you if you're not honest. people won't trust you, they won't subscribe, they won't watch your videos. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. So be honest. If you're honest, people will come back. I always say on my channel, I don't know everything. Okay, and I don't know everything. I'm learning all the time, and some people keep me honest. I'd say, well, this sampler is a 10-bit sampler, and someone said, no, it's 12-bit. But that's purely because I've either made a mistake in my notes, or I haven't done my research properly. Well, hopefully it's the former rather than the latter. But that's reality. Be honest. Be upfront. And if you do make a howler, which I have made a couple of howlers over the years, I've actually said on the following rant video, I do apologise for saying this. But that's being honest. And the final one, and I do apologise if this sounds wrong, but a lot of my American tubers, when they come on YouTube, they speak so fast that you can't actually understand really what they're saying. I don't know whether it's just because they're uber excited about the content they're delivering to you, or they just had a bottle of Coke before they come on and start doing the video. But really, speak normally. Okay, think about when you're speaking to camera that you're having a conversation, but the other side of the conversation isn't there. So I always sort of remind myself of the old radio jocks and what have you. They used to sit in there, and they used to sort of speak to the microphone, and you're sort of almost making love to the microphone. I'm not saying you need to make love to a YouTube video, but speak as if the other person is the person on the screen. Speak slowly, speak clearly, get your point across, get the content across, and people will watch the videos. I tend to find videos with people speaking uber fast is very, very difficult to follow, and I kind of get bored. And once I've got bored, that's it. The video might have the best content in the world for the next 5 to 10 minutes, but if I'm bored, I'm going to switch off. And that's what people do. They do it to me, they do it to you. So don't speak quickly. Or is speaking quickly a cunning plan, to quote Baldrick? If you don't know who Baldrick is, go look him up. It's part of the Blackadder clan. Is it a cunning ploy to make you have to rewatch the video so that you can actually take in what somebody is saying to you? I don't know. Okay. So getting 4,000 views or 4,000 watch hours, it can be a bit of a slog. It took me 18 months. Okay. Honestly, it took me 18 months to go from whatever to 4,000 views. But then my channel covers quite a niche area. So I'm not talking to the wider population. I'm talking to a subset of the population who are interested in electronic dance music. They're interested in keyboards. They're interested in electronic music making. Those are the people I'm talking to. That's what my channel is aimed at. So it's quite niche. So be prepared, unless you're doing fake news, promoting boobs and bums, or another very popular topic like Star Wars or Donald Trump. It's going to take a while. Make sure when you start your channel, you start off with videos that set the tone. Okay. Now I've gone through several iterations of my video styling and the equipment I use and how I promote the camera. And if I go back and look at some of those early videos, I sort of kind of cringe. But I wasn't used to doing this sort of interaction. Once you get comfortable with doing this sort of interaction, it makes it easier. But make sure the early videos you put on the channel set out your vision of what it is your channel is trying to deliver. Okay, so once you've kind of understand that, and it's very important also to get a bio video up on the channel, just telling people what you're all about. But make sure those videos set the tone. You can always change direction and change tone later on, but if people can't really understand from the videos what it is you're trying to do, again, they're not going to watch them. They're not going to clock up the 4,000 hours of view or watch time, and they're not going to do the subscribers. So bear that in mind. But you will get there if you're if you plod away at it, make good content, you will monetize your channel. Okay. Couple of things left to say. Firstly, once you've got 4,000 watch hours, remember you've got to keep your channel above 4,000 watch hours. Okay, so it's not good enough just to get there. You've got to keep there. Okay, and YouTube looks at a running average over the entire 365 days. And if you drop below 4,000 watch hours, you will be demonetized. Okay, so that's the first thing. And you worked quite hard to get there. The second thing is, like with subscribers, that once you've hit that 4,000 watch hours and you've hit the 1,000 subscribers, any video watch time prior to the point they give you the monetization stamp is lost. You only get credit on a YouTube video after you've hit the monetization. So there you have it. Monetization rule number 2, 4,000 watch hours.